The coffee shop was almost empty that Tuesday afternoon when Marcus Chen pushed his daughter's stroller through the door, exhausted from another sleepless night. As a single father to 3-year-old Emma, every day felt like climbing a mountain with weights strapped to his ankles. He'd been managing alone for 2 years now, since his wife Sarah had walked out, leaving only a note on the kitchen counter and a silence that still echoed through their small apartment. Marcus had learned to navigate the pitying looks from other parents, the well-meaning but hollow offers of help that never materialized, and the bone-deep loneliness that crept in after Emma fell asleep each night. He'd also learned that dating as a single dad was virtually impossible. Every woman he'd met through friends or apps had vanished the moment they realized his life came with a ready-made family and zero flexibility. So when his older brother David called with an unusual proposition, Marcus was skeptical. "Just hear me out," David had said over the phone. "My co-worker has this friend Lily. She's amazing, but she's had a rough time with relationships. I thought maybe you two could meet for coffee. No pressure, just as friends." "David, I don't have time for this," Marcus had protested, bouncing Emma on his hip as she reached for his phone. "And I'm done with blind dates. They never work out once women realize what they're signing up for." "That's the thing," David continued, his voice taking on an odd quality Marcus couldn't quite place. "Lily already knows about Emma. She specifically said she'd love to meet you both. She works from home as a graphic designer, so she suggested that coffee place near the park, the one with the play area for kids." Something in David's tone had made Marcus pause. There was a carefulness there, like his brother was walking on eggshells. But Emma needed social interaction, and Marcus had to admit the isolation was getting to him too. Against his better judgment, he'd agreed. Now, scanning the coffee shop, Marcus spotted her immediately. Lily sat in the corner by the window, her wheelchair positioned at a table that had been adjusted to accommodate her. She had kind eyes that crinkled at the corners when she noticed him, and auburn hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. What struck Marcus most was her smile, genuine and warm, not the forced politeness he'd grown accustomed to. As he approached, pushing Emma's stroller, Lily's hands moved in fluid gestures. It took Marcus a moment to realize she was signing. His heart sank. David hadn't mentioned this. Lily was deaf and used a wheelchair. This wasn't just a setup for a casual coffee date. This was some kind of charity case. His brother had tricked him into this, probably thinking Marcus needed to see that other people had challenges too. Or worse, that he and Lily could bond over their respective difficulties. A flash of anger surged through him. He didn't need pity, and he certainly didn't need to be matched with someone, because they both seemed damaged to the outside world. But before he could make an excuse and leave, Emma squealed with delight, pointing at Lily. His daughter had always been drawn to gentle souls, and something about Lily's expression made her reach out her chubby hands. Marcus took a breath and sat down, pulling out his phone to type. This was his brother's mess, but he wouldn't be rude about it. Lily was already typing on her own phone. She turned it toward him. "Hi, Marcus. I'm Lily, and you must be Emma. Your Uncle David has told me so much about you both." Marcus typed back, "Hi. I have to be honest. My brother didn't mention that you're deaf or use a wheelchair. I'm sorry if this is awkward." Lily's smile didn't falter. She typed, "David did that on purpose. He knew you'd make assumptions and maybe not come. He was right, wasn't he?" Marcus felt his face flush. She'd called him out directly, no dancing around it. He typed, "Maybe, it's just I've had a lot of setups that felt more like people trying to fix me than actually wanting to get to know me. I get that more than you know," Lily typed back. "People see the wheelchair first, then the signing, and they either run away or treat me like a project. I made David promise not to tell you because I wanted to see who you really were." Emma had climbed out of her stroller and was now standing beside Lily's wheelchair, fascinated by the wheels. Lily gently touched Emma's hand and began teaching. Her simple signs, the sign for hello, for friend, for happy. Emma mimicked the movements with the unself-conscious joy only toddlers possess. Watching them together, something shifted in Marcus's chest. He'd been so ready to be defensive, to assume the worst, that he'd almost missed what was right in front of him. A woman who was patient with his daughter, who met his eyes without judgment, who seemed to understand the weight he carried because she carried her own. They spent the next 2 hours typing back and forth, sharing stories. Lily had been in a car accident 5 years ago that left her paralyzed from the waist down. She'd been deaf since birth, growing up in the deaf community with signing as her first language. She talked about her work, her love of painting, her close relationship with her grandmother who'd recently passed away. Marcus found himself opening up too, telling her about Sarah's abandonment, about the nights he'd cried in the bathroom so Emma wouldn't hear, about how he'd built a life from the rubble but still felt incomplete somehow. As they talked, Emma played contentedly nearby, occasionally running back to show Lily a toy or to practice her new signs. Lily never treated Emma like an interruption or an inconvenience. She included her naturally in their conversation, her face lighting up each time Emma got a sign right. When it was time to leave, Marcus felt reluctant. He typed, "I'd like to see you again, if you want to." Lily nodded, but her expression grew serious. She typed a longer message this time. "I need to tell you something first. David asked me to give you a chance to know me before telling you this. I said yes because I've been rejected so many times. Men meet me, they think they can handle it, and then reality sets in. I need help with basic things. I can't walk in the park with you and Emma. I can't hear. Emma call for me if she needs something. I'll never be the mother figure who can chase her around a playground or hear her first words. If we do this, you need to know what you're actually signing up for." Marcus read the words twice, then looked at Lily. Really looked at her. He saw the vulnerability in her eyes, the fear of rejection she was trying to hide behind practical honesty. He thought about all the times he'd felt exactly the same way, warning potential partners about the reality of dating a single dad. He typed slowly, "I have Emma every single day and every single night. I haven't slept through the night in 3 years. I cancel plans constantly. I'm covered in mystery stains half the time, and I'm always running late. I'll never be spontaneous or carefree again. I come as a package deal with a tiny human who will always be my priority. If you're telling me your reality, then you should know mine too." Lily smiled, tears gathering in her eyes. She typed, "So we're both warning each other off?" "Looks like it," Marcus typed back, grinning. "How's that working out?" "Terribly," she typed. "I already really like you." Over the following months, Marcus and Lily built something he'd never experienced before, a relationship based on radical honesty and acceptance. Lily learned basic phrases in speech, therapy so she could communicate with Emma in different ways. Marcus learned ASL, practicing signs with Emma every night before bed. They became a team, figuring out logistics together. How could they all enjoy a day out? What did accessible family activities look like? Emma thrived under Lily's gentle attention. She learned to tap Lily's arm to get her attention, to sign simple phrases, to understand that communication came in many forms. Lily taught her patience and creativity. Marcus watched his daughter grow in emotional intelligence, learning to read facial expressions and body language in ways other children her age couldn't. But it wasn't perfect. There were hard days when Marcus had to carry both Emma and help Lily, when he felt stretched impossibly thin. There were moments when Lily felt like a burden, when she withdrew into herself, convinced Marcus would eventually realize she was too much work. They had arguments typed out in angry texts, misunderstandings that came from not being able to hear tone of voice. Through it all, they kept choosing each other. 1 year into their relationship, Marcus's brother David admitted the truth over a family dinner. "I did set you up," he confessed, "but not the way you think." Lily had been talking about how impossible dating felt, how men always left. "You'd been saying the same thing. I just thought you should meet. I didn't know you'd fall in love." "You tricked me," Marcus said. But there was no anger in his voice anymore, only gratitude. The real turning point came on a random Thursday evening. Marcus had proposed the week before, on his knees in Lily's living room, with Emma holding the ring box, all three of them crying happy tears. They were discussing wedding plans when Emma, now 4 years old, climbed into Lily's lap. Marcus watched as his daughter snuggled against Lily's chest, signing "I love you" with her small hands. Lily signed it back, kissing Emma's forehead. Then Emma spoke, her little voice clear and certain. "Is Lily going to be my mommy after you get married?" Marcus started to answer, but Lily gently placed Emma where she could see her face and began signing, speaking aloud simultaneously, something she rarely did. But she wanted both Marcus and Emma to understand. "Emma," Lily said, her voice carrying the unique quality of someone who'd learned to speak without hearing their own voice. "I could never replace your first mommy. She gave you life and she gave you to your daddy. But I can promise you this. I will love you with my whole heart every single day. I might not be able to run with you or hear you sing, but I will always, always see you. I will celebrate every picture you draw, every story you tell, every dream you have. If you want to call me mommy, that would make me the happiest person in the world. But if you want to call me Lily, that's perfect too. What matters is that we're a family." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she signed, her hands shaking slightly. Emma was quiet for a moment, processing with that serious expression children get when they're thinking about something important. Then she wrapped her arms around Lily's neck and whispered right into Lily's ear, even though she knew Lily couldn't hear it, "I want to call you Mommy." Marcus watched Lily's face crumple as Emma pulled back and signed it clearly, "Mommy." In that moment, everything his brother had orchestrated, every challenge they'd faced, every moment of doubt, it all made sense. What David had understood, what Marcus and Lily had discovered, was that love isn't about finding someone without challenges. It's about finding someone whose challenges you're willing to face together, whose brokenness fits with yours in a way that makes you both more whole. Lily looked up at Marcus, tears streaming down her face, and signed 3 words, "Our family, complete." Marcus knelt beside them both, wrapping his arms around his 2 favorite people in the world, and realized that sometimes the greatest trick isn't being deceived, it's being pushed past your own fears to find something real. That night, after Emma fell asleep, Marcus sat with Lily on the couch. He typed one last message. "Thank you for taking a chance on a tricked, blind date with an exhausted single dad." Lily typed back, "Thank you for seeing past a wheelchair and deaf ears to find me." They were both exactly what the other needed, not in spite of their challenges, but because of everything they'd overcome to get there, and that made all the difference.